So, and since you seem to be one of the important ones, I suppose in the same video, you're going to listen to me saying that the same criminals that expect you to take their word for it decided to transpose what happened in one night to the next night and interrupt the video not once but twice. Now the twice is the actually important one, because the first one you could generally say just died of battery, but the second one, the phone turned off immediately, and that was filmed as well. So that is that. And as I said, this video never stops. Now it's at 16 minutes and 26 seconds, which means you get to listen to me talking, then a glance of me talking again when interrupted for the second time, and then me finishing the talk now, all in this video. And you can match that to this one. So, as I said, for the criminals who think they're going to ignore what you can see with your own eyes for their word, even though there are many, transposing what happened in one night to the other night, because as I said, there's no doubt in my mind that this phone was recording audio last night, or video apparently, when I passed out. But even then, it could never be on the directory that was open, period. I even show to you, if you try to open through the camera, it doesn't actually ask the password right away. And it goes back to the camera, it doesn't go back to the directory. And the only way to enter the directory is with the password, which means that I would have to have opened that, which means that I would have to have been awake, saw that the video stopped, and decided to open that through the folder. And why would I do that? Just look for a second. The video stopped randomly. Like, you went into, through the middle of the night, and you stopped at 11 something. And why would I want to enter the venture? Okay, as I said, plain and simple. Require the password, require the accessing. I did not do those things. The phone was dead, although I couldn't find it in the middle of the night. And there was several points for the night when the thing was just stretched open in between two cameras, as you saw there and there, and three actually, because you also can get the camera from lamp in the back, as I was showing to you before. You can even see the red of the infrared in one of those videos. And it's green. There's a green as well. Yeah, I remember there was a green at some point, but I'm quite sure you also can see the red with the infrared. I don't remember, but you see the video, not the green. And you can see a light from that. Okay. And with that, keep in mind so sorry, I got distracted. Probably something being sexually thrown on me. I'm not gonna repeat everything. It's recorded on this phone. I'm gonna play from this to this, so I get to listen and cross-check the moments that they interrupted it. So this is the version of the event as I'm telling you, and you say which one makes more sense, which one is more bizarre first, and which one makes more sense. Whatever crap they come up with, and keep in mind they'll have ample time because you'll be listening to that at this point, right? I'm just making it up with information I have right now for what happened in the middle of the night. Someone went out to assault me during the night. Didn't know about the phone. No, this phone wasn't recording, which I think I didn't. Don't know anything about the other phone apparently, because they must be crazy. Boy, you haven't watched cartoons? Yeah, I mean, doesn't it? Just think for a second. It's a mixture of complete morality, no qualms, and the more bizarre crimes like animal cruelty and other things that just make people hate you for no reason. And again, take it with I say with a grain of salt. I know what you're actually going to be thinking. Again, it takes a very special type of criminal to actually take their own victims at face value for what they say about them. So, more power to what they think is going to work. As you said, unfortunately, I can't report about listening to it reliably. You can try down the little guy. It can not to be 100% true, as we discovered in the past. And unlike them, we run through the bucket. But what happened? Went in the middle of the night, I tracked for me, this one was important. You know about the little guy. Did something on it because even though they knew the old password, that they would have means of changing things, left it there for me to see, or rather for me to comment to you. And this is the important part, as I said, this is actually the key part for you to remember. The fact that what they are doing in a way as to make it look like what happened last night actually happened this night. Again, keep in mind, what happened 2 nights ago actually happened last night. That's a major deal. This is something that I'm quite sure that they're going to see as the most crucial thing, and this is essentially the main point. We will see several times they intend to deceive, because we don't require the actual full-blown action for that fact. What you see is that if they could, they would deceive and lie. And again, those are millions of criminals. We're not talking about one guy in the dark of the night. So yesterday in the mall, the sheer scale of this, sheer numbers, right? And you see through this whole situation, or several others, the sheer amount of attempts that accomplish nothing concrete. They're not exposing anything. They're just attempting to deceive. Now again, it doesn't take a genius. You could just close the thing, shut down the phone, whatever. Actually, because the way that things happen in the morning, which is also bad, I'm gonna get that as well. I probably didn't even notice that the phone had been tampered with if they even just shut down, which they clearly could do because it had a password for it, right? But instead of even shutting down the phone, those motorbikes back there disappeared. Moved on. Cool. Instead of even shut down the phone, they decided to open up the directory and leave it in the password phase, except you can only enter the directory if you already have the password, period. There's no ways about it. I literally showed you the only other way that I can think of, which is from the camera. And if that was the case, when you go back to the camera, not to the directory, right? It's the only way to know open a video, because when you try to open the directory through the camera, it still asks the password. So essentially what they did was tell me that they have the password. Now this is not the intention. The intention clearly was to transpose one night to another night, which is why, as I said, pay close attention, authenticate everything, because you know that they are lying when the mouth moves. If the mouth moves and sound comes out, you know that they are lying. That's a good hint. So, because of things like this, authenticate everything. You don't need me to say things, right? They want to accuse me of whatever. More power to them. You should listen to what they say in detail, because it's probably going to be flaws in that, because intelligence is such a level that, in my opinion, you just listen to them talk and keep them talking, you're going to see the anything from that. As a matter of fact, they are so deprived of any bearings that they're actually going to repeat the same thing about me right now, what I say right now. Not when I'm in a safe environment and I can think straight and I can organize things and write and put things correctly, but what they do every day, every hour, throughout the day. Keep that in mind. It tells everything you should know as well about that. So, but that might just be seen as stupid or insensitive. I want to say that that's also not intent to deceive. They actually expect you to indeed take me and the millions of criminals in the same level, to capable of same capabilities. So, more power to them. And they should have all the information I say to you in advance. Keep in mind, they're listening to this now on the 11th of May, 2026. I am speculating the things that happened during the night, which they already know about. Now, they will be knowing what they did. There will be information that I'm saying to you right now. They will have the entire time to actually ask that to them to come up with a counter story to that, and you see which one you think makes more sense. Not which one is more bizarre, I'll do that as well, but which one makes more sense to the facts. And after arriving there, they realized that they actually didn't have the thing. Left the thing that open, because, as I said, it's important. After, in the morning, and then passwords to other criminals, I think that it actually happened twice. I don't think that there was just one criminal. I think that there was actually 2 or more. And that's just a hint. Because during the night, I noticed there were several times when the cats weren't there. That's one important thing. Only Chip. But Chip is too young, as I said. She's small. And Although now it's a bit safer and we're going to take even more precautions. Because again, we didn't know that. But as I simply point to you. And simple things occurring to me. And as I said, this is why you see the faces. Because at this conjecture, I couldn't care much less about what they have to say, to be honest. As I said to you, I say you listen to them carefully. Just make sure that you keep in mind all the faces they are involved in this, so they cannot just run away later. Because they would if they could. They're going to say they had nothing to do with it, or they didn't know, and that's why we're locking out all the faces. Kind of like a cop blocking off a story, so the guy cannot change that later. Yeah, and that's what we're saying. Just that this is this part of the crime. Before you had the absurdity, before you have proven intent, which you're kind of doing right now as well. Right now it's more on the phase of making sure that you understand that every sheer scale for everyone that chooses to be a part of this plan. And so what happened then? And yeah, the explanation was there. I may say that I was consensual, there was that interaction with me, a variety of things, which is what I'm saying to you categorically on the same day and pointing that to you as quickly as I can on YouTube, the place they cannot add the videos after, change the dates, doing anything else. In fact, you're going to have you have a configuration out there, you have the sky, you have the sun, you have the dates, you have the weather, you have everything. Don't need extra things of this. But as I said, I authenticated everything. The day the person shares, you saw with the geniuses in the genius plans will be able to outsmart some company or which designed to do cybersecurity, or someone else who is experienced and knowledgeable, knowing that they are trying to be lied to. It's the day that I wouldn't have a chance. So, as I said, putting things in the scale. What else? Well, as I pointed out, it might have happened twice, as I was saying. But even if not, which led to happen in the morning, because in the morning, the abrupt nature in which this guy was talking to me, so fast, but going there directly, compare that to the other days when it didn't quite happen this way. And yep, as I say. Now, I already just said it, the sample, and in a minute, and we will. So, propose to you, and before I was just pointing that out as pointlessness, think for a second if you still think that it is pointless what they're doing. Right? Think for the light of the night that happened the day before happening last night. And then think again about them trying to catch me on something they use on YouTube or even to the press and to the crowd. Because again, we know that they're being dishonest because they are acting. So if they're doing something, they're being dishonest. That's what they act. And because I, again, rather naively, I would admit, did believe that how funny it is, it doesn't even make much sense. I need to open up without them. Accident. Yeah, that's on this side. Really. No help comes. Also that, no help comes. It's half a centimeter too far from my eyes to catch, because as you can see, it's pretty tight. So if you move, you'll never be able to place it back on the exactly same place, match between the bag and the tape. Which means you cannot cut the tape, but also no. You cannot remove and place it again, but also no. As I said, that's the closing we used to do back in the terminal when I'm closing my thing. Not that I mentioned anything about that. I told you. I'll comment on that later. What happened and didn't. But for now, as I said, everything that I said, the criminals have access to. So I would say, as of now, opening a separate test. Based on this one test alone, we're probably moving everything to check that they did not get access to the backpack. Which means, I mean, at this point it doesn't mean anything, but I'd say that even if they had, they wouldn't have found the fucking phone again. So, once again, you have at least audio recording. So unfortunately, it's in video, but for what it's worth, nothing's perfect. So you're not expecting that. Not gonna lie. Of them assaulting me in the middle of the night. And given the geniuses, probably I imagine that they said something, so you also probably have a voice sample. Just based on average intelligence, you know. Those are the same criminals you saw from the plastic bags. They are still there and also in here. So now I have got another thing. You're supposed to looking at me as I was opening the bags. I was closing the things. I don't doubt that he was glancing at it and seeing what was moving in and out for sure. But I didn't see it actually paying close attention. I could have closed everything inside before leaving out anyways, right? So there wasn't anything open out to begin with, but I could. And this is important. Also, there was a point in the middle of the night when I definitely couldn't find this little guy. So I can guarantee to you that there was some criminal there. So there you have it. Definitely assaulted me last night. I'm gonna report that to Stone immediately, put that on YouTube, this video on YouTube right now. Especially the one after continuation from this with the other one. Actually, I'm gonna put just that one because again, it's just me talking. How much else to see, what you see. We're gonna be online as well, but the important one is the explanation one. And that's the one uninterrupted with that phone. And cannot place the time. The weird things happening throughout the night, and they woke me up several times through the night. And tell you this much. Most of them are just ignored. There was even one time, and this is just for you to have some perspective of who is you're dealing with. I felt actual happiness when I have like them on me, like that they was laying on me. And I just remember they were just hugging them, and I felt genuinely happy, even if a little bit. Remember what I mentioned before? I was even thinking at some point something on the lines of, how their attitude matters as legally as the smiles. But when it goes down to people's reaction to it, it matters a huge deal, right? Given that they seem to have been using the argument, I suppose they would understand where it was coming to them. So, except in my case, funny enough, my case, the smile is defiant. It's to say that you saw how they sing as a personal insult every time that I say things like what I just said, or smile or anything else. They see that as a personal affront to them. Which, by the way, textbook on how to be hated by an entire planet. And just, although to be fair, after democracy to them, after the things that they did to her, alone, like to these days, using narcotics no less, so you have everybody, whoever, nope, more power to them. Whatever they think, it's gonna fly. Now we just see the faces, appreciate it. And all of them know, by the way. Like, you think that the individuals in the mall you see reacting to what I say, literally in the mall, don't know what I'm saying. So when they reacted to what I said, they just heard that part. The rest is invisible to them. The words are invisible. Please do make that joke, because, what else you expect, what you believe, right? So, as I said, and as you could clearly see, being the only one who didn't want to do that. Mas back to Miss Matter. The fact is, I genuinely believe, but they seem to take it as a personal front every time that I feel those things. So keep that in mind. That's going to be very important for you. And as far as the rest goes, we're going to make sure two things. One, now we're going to upload this. We're going to transfer something from the phones, but I think better than that, we're going to make sure that all the videos with her mom, and all the other cats stay online in YouTube, not just online. And you can just go video by video and see which ones. Obviously, only the ones in here before, because they'll never take her away. There's no point. It's just going to expose her to those criminals. And although, again, I'll do that myself, I wouldn't do that to expose her. Again, take from that what you will. Because not only they would, or they could, target them, but as you see based on their own actions, they did target them, and they would, consequently, obviously, target them to try to get you me. Again, right in the manual. Yeah, one atrocity at a time. And keep that in mind. As for the other ones, and at the end of the day, if you do things right, you're going to say to you, you won't need to go for the actual core criminals. All the other ones you just saw yesterday, all the other ones who are, with their own choice, involved in this, would go after them themselves, because, well, again, as I said, this looks like a place that is, well, utopian to you, by any chance of imagination. The one time when they get together is for that practice to me. So, those guys didn't look half full. As far as this society goes, not incredibly weak. So, did I force them to say the things that they say there in front of you? Did I force them to be doing the things that they're doing, posing for you? Did I force them to put children involved in this? Did I not do the opposite, in fact? All their actions are their own. But, I don't know if these actions are their own. But I can tell you that they know about these actions. So, all the actions are shared between the criminals. I mean, the knowledge about them. They know what's happening, so I'm saying. If you have a guy just raping someone and then posting that in YouTube, right, or killing someone, or doing some hideous crime, right? You wouldn't just kill him because it's kind of a finite thing. You want something more repetitive. Would you want to, share that yourself or reshare that? Or posting online, do you want to share the post, or would you, want nothing to do with it at the very least? But again, just leaving up to you where you decide these things more sense. So, again, they think they can just peace out and detach themselves from this, and more power to what they think is going to happen, as I said yesterday in the mall. When they threw something on her, she didn't pull yet, by the way. So, that the thing that you saw happening 3 times in the mall, not once so far, or even yesterday, for that matter. She slept the entire time with me inside. Only the first night, the night when they took her mother, is the night that she put you inside, which now I know is food. By the way, she didn't even drink milk by then. It was still her food. So her food habits changed drastically. And then you have this thing that was never she did before as a kitten. I never saw her. She started doing it, and then stopped, and then it started again, but it only happens when the times it's convenient for the criminals, like when I'm about to eat my food. But that's okay though, because it's unrelated, right? Just like other faces there doing commentary and specific phrasing for this crime is unrelated to this crime. Yeah, more power to them. This is going to YouTube right now. I'm going to shut out Tanya to make sure that she's able to see it. But I just want to place the cherries on the commentaries about cops and legal things that are going to literally listen to a crime of this magnitude and then try to act against the victim, which, again, some of them seem to also be the case, which, and I'm not even saying it's impossible. What I'm saying is, yeah, and you get to see that too. Imagine how cute that's going to be, particularly for the higher politicians having to actually still have a country to present to the rest of the world that law exists. And those are the criminals, those are the places, those are all real things. Again, none of those things are arbitrary, imaginary, fictitious. Everything is what you see by individuals doing the things as they happen. I literally say that in every single video, every single point. Those things happen in several cities, from my home in Niterói to, which I don't know how much you could say it was my home at that point, because all the atrocities being done there. Might just suggest it might have something to do with this thing, because I remember seeing this thing over there, and you know what this was supposed to be, and there wasn't that when I got here. So again, if you remember, posing here, you are irrefutably in front of that camera, which has a light on, and in front of this one. Period. Okay? And I was looking at that entire night. Every time I woke up, I was kind of half awake, half asleep, with the kittens on top of me. And more what I just said. Plus, you got to listen to the other interactions. Again, the thing about being the, what they're gonna be known for, and also just incredibly stupid, which is jaw-dropping. Again, most individuals with this level of war crimes wouldn't have their victims being just astounded on the stupidity. Also, can you have anyone in the more quintessential stalking position than this? Just for framing, so you can see how the framing is exactly that one, and then I'm gonna read you to the another face, quote unquote, not to be unattached to this. So that'll be the framing. Just another one, right? And from there we play the. Oh, I'm gonna upload this one immediately. I want that on the safe side. Call Tanya, play from one to the other, and then upload the other one as well. Now, this is less related than the other thing, but look at that. So what is it? That's one of the too far away. The one we could play hanging, but it is a play that's hanging. We have moved to 746. It's unlawful to have the thing not properly played. Although since I only have to have it in the back. I don't know how the law works, but try. Yeah, I'm gonna upload from here. I'm gonna do it from the back, but I'm gonna waste much of the internet. Train 906. She filmed on the little guy. Now it's 12:18 p.m. Around 29:15.